Good evening and welcome to the illegal fireworks extravaganza that is my, well, not my hometown, but the place where I live, San Antonio, Texas. My name is Oscar. I will be hosting this little...
53 minutes until your live feed goes live.
Okay, it should be live now.
No, it says it will be live in
Try it now.
minutes. It's running. Okay, I'll go look again. I just walked away from it.
As you can see, I have technical assistance tonight. Actually, you heard, not really saw. Why am I doing this? I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm bored out of my freaking mind. My wife and I have been basically quarantining for COVID ever since about March. I had COVID-19, so it was not fun. I'm feeling a lot better now. But might as well be out in the war zone because of everything else going on, so what the hell, let's cover the eclipse. The Penumbral, if I'm pronouncing it right, eclipse, isn't going to be as spectacular as... Yes? Can you hear me? Oh, excellent, thank you.
There's like a 2-minute delay because I heard our conversation a minute after I went.
Excellent, all right.
I think I'm the only one watching this, so it's okay.
The penumbral eclipse will be occurring at its maximum at about 11:30 tonight, but don't expect it to be as spectacular as the full eclipse of the moon, since we're not transitioning into the umbra, which is what people most associate with the moon. As you can hear, I have quite the spectacular sounds around me. San Antonio is doing its job by doing the best illegal fireworks that it possibly can. So when I'm not trying to look at the moon, I do have a couple of different camera views tonight. The moon's not quite up yet. It should be up shortly. So I'm going to hold on to the fireworks view until I can get the moon. That should appear just over my house right around sometime between 10 and 10:15 tonight. If you are new to YouTube or you want to comment and talk about what I know and what I don't know, I will tell you I am an amateur astronomer, which means I only know as much as I read in books and all the lovely information that is on the internet. Or misinformation, information, however you want to take it. I've read a couple of books. My background is I was a weather forecaster for the U.S. Air Force, and I decided, hey, this stuff is kind of fun. Let me look into astronomy and astrophotography as well. No, that is not a gun going off in Texas. That is just another illegal firework. So if you want to chat in the live feed of YouTube, feel free to do so. I will answer your questions as best I can. Please know I am not an expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm just like you folks. I just love astrophotography. I love astronomy, and I like sharing passion with everybody else. Texas loves to share their passion, if you haven't figured it out. I'm running this lovely thing on a budget, so my equipment is very simplistic. I have a plain HD camera to show off the fireworks that'll be on the screen on your right, and I have a Canon T6i with a Skywatcher mount, and I will start the rotation of that and zooming in on the planetary body, so to speak, as soon as... Oh, it looks like the neighbors are doing a good job tonight. Here, let me see if I can turn the camera. As soon as I'm able to do so. You may hear me go silent a few moments here and there. That's okay. I intend to. I'm going to keep this conversation as free of politics as I can tonight. Why? Because it's the 4th of July, man. It's the United States. It's a holiday. We really don't need that kind of politics and that kind of hate right now. If I see your... weirdest girl, how's the pandemic in San Antonio so far? Well, we keep breaking records. which is a bad thing. Each day seems to be a new record number of cases for COVID-19. I will tell you that I did have COVID-19. It was not fun. Probably the closest I ever felt to death in my lifetime. If that lets you know anything, I had it early on in March, and I'm grateful for it. I feel very sorry for people who have to go through it right now. It is not. We're getting close to the end of like ventilators in San Antonio. We're getting close to the end of beds that they have for hospitals in San Antonio. It is not fun for a lot of people. There are restrictions at our grocery stores for certain items we can buy and not buy. The one thing that's been selling really well that you could probably hear in the background is fireworks. Fireworks to the point of you wouldn't believe. In fact, some places have been running out and selling fireworks. I live in a suburb of San Antonio where it is still illegal to shoot off fireworks, but you can see that's not stopping anybody this year. And it's those illegal fireworks that you're hearing. You can only buy them I live in a county called Bexar County, and you can buy them if you're outside of Bexar County, but they expect you to light them and have fun with them outside of Bexar County. What you're hearing is fairly typical, if not a little bit more so than what we get for fireworks this year. Weirdest girl, how's it going for the pandemic in your side of the planet? What? There. I just saw.
It's more impressive, isn't it? It looks like nothing. Yeah, I can hear that one in the background.
So I see we got 4 people in the chat. That's more so than I thought we would have at this point, because I'm starting at about 50 minutes earlier than I originally anticipated. Dusk is just settling in San Antonio, like I said. So, weirdest girl, what side of the planet are you from? Are you in the States or in Europe? As I was saying earlier, we're still waiting on the moon to actually rise above part of my house before you can actually see it. As soon as the moon is reasonably available, I will zoom in on it so that we could start talking about the eclipse. There was a good shot of fireworks in the distance. Thank you, San Antonio. Making all the difference in the world now. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. That was at least $100 worth. That was awesome. For those of you just joining, the eclipse coverage really doesn't start until 10 o'clock, but I wanted to make sure that all the technical issues that I had earlier were straightened out. In fact, you won't even be able to see the moon until about 10:15. No biggie. I don't think we're going to miss anything that big. Until then, I'm showing some of the wonderful illegal fireworks we have in San Antonio. Going to repeat my background again. I'm in just an avid beginning astrophotographer. Most of my shots have been of the moon. In February 2019, I did a live stream for the first time, and I was totally not prepared for it. I made so many horrible mistakes on it, but it seemed to work out pretty well. It was for the full moon eclipse that we had in February. Many people online were very appreciative, and I appreciate all the nice comments getting, all the wonkiness of the cameras that I had to work with at that point. So Waiters Guild, 900 plus people, and you're from the States. Can you tell me what county or what area of the country? I know you may not want to say your city, and that's cool. I'll be repeating myself a lot tonight. The coverage of the eclipse will not begin until about 10:15 or so. I have to wait until the actual moon comes over my house and clears trees and clears a ridge line. As you can hear in the background, all the lovely illegal fireworks in San Antonio, and they absolutely are illegal to shoot off inside of the city limits. But people do it anyway, just like in a lot of other parts of the U.S. Ah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I need to leave it on the fireworks cam for a while. If you're in a part of the states where they cancel the fireworks show, enjoy the one I have for you in San Antonio. You should be able to see it. Okay, in Texas, Waiters Guild. All right. So you know what I'm talking about when it comes to illegal fireworks. It's no mystery to you. Weirdest Girl, are you in a place where you get really dark skies? So, for those just joining the live feed, Eclipse coverage doesn't begin until 10 o'clock. I decided to start a little bit early to show some of the spectacular illegal fireworks in San Antonio. You can probably hear them in the background. If I see them, I will point the camera in that general direction. So, Weirdest Girl, are you familiar with the Bortle range of dark skies? Can you tell me what Bortle of dark skies that you have there? For me, it's not so great since I'm so close to the city limits. Let's take a look to see how close we're getting to actually having the moon come over my house. Not quite yet. Yeah, it won't be till about 10:52. Oh, I have some access in the neighbor. There we go. Spur SP21UR9RS. I'm not about to visit the east side of San Antonio, but I get what you're saying, man. I work there. I work on the east side during the day, and I absolutely, I absolutely, completely understand. And yes, it's definitely a free show this year. I was hearing how on the news how literally places were running out of fireworks because since all the local fireworks shows were canceled for the most part, everybody's just doing their own this year. So it's going to be a very big show for a lot of people this year, more so than it's ever been any other year. Weirdest Girl, are you way out in the country, like really outside the city limits? Or like maybe Fredericksburg or somewhere up north, maybe in the hill country? If anybody's watching, feel free to jump in on a live chat. As long as you don't talk about anything political, we're good. Talk about COVID if you want. Talk about fireworks if you want. Prefer to talk about astronomy if you got it. Oh, that was a good one tonight. Prefer to talk about astronomy. Gonna go check the other camera real quick. See if we got the moon in sight yet. Nope. Still waiting on for it to come over to Verizon. The moon's getting a little bit close, though. Almost at the level. Whew. If you got dogs and cats, make sure they stay indoors tonight. That's all I'm saying. Moon's almost over the horizon. Not quite. It'll be there in another couple of minutes. I'm not sure if that's police sirens I hear or something else. We'll see. So, is anybody in the live chat, have you ever done any astrophotography? Have you ever looked through a telescope? Are you part of any astrophotography group in your area? Do you follow any of the beginning astrophotography feeds on Facebook? Oh, that was a good one in the neighborhood. I gotta see if he's gonna do it again. Come on. Somebody spend some money on that. Enjoy the show. We'll see you at 10.
This in for a couple hours, but I only got up to 50%, so I don't know how long it's going to last.
Okay, probably use mine.
Well, no, I'm just saying, dude, I can drag a plug out here.
Yeah, you can drag a plug in if you can plug in.
See it through the tree. The tree is massive.
You know, for all these people out of work, they sure as hell are throwing a lot of money at fireworks. No. No, I need it when I start doing the other thing. I'm on the phone right now, which is fine.
Okay, because I'm like, I'll just leave the charger here when you need it. As we get closer, I'll bring it back. I'll finish watching the things I started. That's, timeout.
Thank you. That was a good one. But it wasn't on a camera, huh? If you're just joining, the eclipse coverage does not begin. Get that out of the the eclipse coverage does not begin until about 10 o'clock. As you can see, we don't exactly have the moon showing its yet. It's still working its way across the houses that are already distant. As soon as I have the moon in view, I'll actually switch to full coverage of the eclipse. Thanks for joining me tonight. As you can hear in the background, there are tons of lovely illegal fireworks going on in San Antonio right now. It's just one of those things. It happens every year, but this year, for some reason, it's a lot more prevalent. That's the word I'm looking for. Prevalent. In fact, I have never heard it quite this loud in San Antonio in prior years, so it's very interesting. I live in San Antonio, Texas. We'll have eclipse coverage, like I said, beginning at approximately 10:15. Don't expect this eclipse to be spectacular like the full lunar eclipse that we had in February of 2019. It will probably disappoint a lot of you because it's not going to darken the moon as much as you would expect, so I'm letting you know that right now. The eclipse will only go near what's called the number of fireworks. We'll only be dealing with, for the most part, the penumbral, which is the outer shadow, not the inner shadow that everybody normally associates with eclipse, which is the umbra. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please let me know. Yeah, I'm going to leave that off in the distance in case anything else pops up. I am an amateur astrophotographer, an amateur astronomer, like everybody else. Except tonight, my light pollution comes courtesy of San Antonio, Texas, where we have a lot of illegal fireworks going on tonight. More so than all the years I've lived here. I've lived here since the mid 2000s, and I have never quite heard the physical number and seen the physical number of fireworks that I am seeing tonight. I heard on the east side it's quite a show. I'm glad on the north side it's not so much. We have two little fur critters that are probably scurrying underneath their beds right now, our beds right now. So once again, thanks for tuning in. As soon as the moon rises over a couple of my neighbors' houses, I think that was an M80. That was nice. We'll start the coverage of the lunar eclipse. Wow, I knew there were going to be more fireworks this year than normal. I didn't think there would be this much. You know, I'd feel sorry for anybody who'd been to a war-torn area of the Middle East and visited San Antonio tonight. This is kind of brutal. Okay, little calm before the storm again. Did they run out? Nah, this stuff will be going all night. Who am I kidding? If anybody wants to jump in on the live chat, feel free. Let me see where we are with the moon coming up. Let's do dual. And you can see the moon just starting to crest, or at least the light of the moon starting to crest over a little bit over one of my neighbor's houses. Like I was telling some folks earlier, I'm running this on a budget, y'all. Seriously. Not getting paid for this. I'm using the equipment that I have at home that I've procured over the last few years. And hopefully everything works tonight. Can't guarantee that 100%, but I will do my best. I will try to stay awake for the entire eclipse, but if I start fading at 12 o'clock, it's just because I'm tired, and I'll leave it at that. Wow. If you wish to look at this eclipse online, I'm sure there are a lot of other sites besides me that are doing it. I'm doing it because it's something I really enjoy doing, and I'm pretty sure that there are, and hopefully to connect with some folks in San Antonio who really enjoy watching the skies as much as I do. There are some high clouds tonight, but I really don't think they're going to impact our view of the eclipse. I may have to lose the live feed for a couple of minutes while I make some adjustments to the camera, so folks, don't freak out. It will be back. Wow, you can even see the smoke coming up tonight for some of the fireworks. That's impressive. Here, we'll switch back to the fireworks camera for a little bit until the moon comes up a little more.
That's a 24-minute video.
My technical assistance tonight is my wife, so you may hear her in the background on occasion. You know, I was originally going to watch the Macy's fireworks tonight. No, I'm good. I don't feel cheated. Now, if only I can get the neighbors to coordinate the fireworks tonight, you know, so we could have a beat and dance to it, but I don't see that happening. Let's take a look to see how far the moons come up. So you can see we have some high clouds. That's okay. It will clear out tonight. But it may be a little bit smoky. We'll see how we go. I see we got 4 people in the live chat right now. Just letting you know, the moon has not yet risen over my neighbor's house, as you can see. As soon as that happens, we'll switch over to just eclipse coverage and not the coverage of the lovely illegal fireworks that are in San Antonio in my neck of the woods. Thank you for watching the eclipse coverage. If you're used to seeing a full lunar eclipse, you might be slightly disappointed tonight. A penumbral lunar eclipse does not darken the moon as much as you would expect. When you see a chunk of the moon darkened, that is not penumbral, that is the umbra, the small circular of dark. So what you're going to see is a slight darkening tonight at around 11:30, but not much more than that. So if you're on the edge and you're looking, well, I want to look at fireworks, but I also want to check this out, I will leave this video up after the eclipse is all done. So if you want to watch it tomorrow, you can. I know it's kind of late for a lot of folks to be up this late, so they got stuff they got to do tomorrow, church and everything else. So if you want to chat in the public chat, feel free. And you can listen to the sounds of, everything else in the world happening in San Antonio right now. The moon is just starting to peak. But the fireworks are practically continuous in San Antonio. So. I'm going to make some adjustments to my camera so that we can see the moon a little better. So let's just hang on a little bit. So the moon is slightly above. Make some slight corrections. So if your stuff gets jittery, just relax a little bit. Stable a little more. And while I make some final adjustments to the camera, you're going to lose the moon for a couple of minutes. I apologize, but it'll be worth it, I promise. There we go. No. And I will enlarge the size of the moon as much as I can for now. And I will sharpen that image in just a minute. Realize it may be a little fuzzy for folks. I'll see you in a sec.
Better. Pretty good. Don't see much difference. It just jiggles. Nope, blurry. Way blurry. Super blurry. Better. Pretty sharp. That's pretty good.
Hello, Andrea from Dallas. Yeah, it's kind of tough for me in my neighborhood to get the trees to stop blocking the moon as well. So I'm doing the best that I can, but the moon's heading higher in the sky, so it should be okay in a little bit. Good one. Okay, hopefully everybody can see the moon now. I will be taking out the fireworks camera in just a little bit. That wasn't a cloud you saw in front of the moon. It was smoke from a firework. I never quite expected the, the additional sound effects I would have tonight. Also, somebody else's car alarm has just went off. There goes another car alarm. Hey, a little birdie went by the moon. That was fun. A couple little birdies. All right. I gotta laugh, man. There's just too much. There's just too much crap going on in San Antonio tonight. So for those of you who managed to not go outside tonight to see what your neighbors are blowing up, this is an online cast of the Penumbral Eclipse tonight. My God. So the last time I did this, we had and this was February 2019, there was a total eclipse of the moon, and it was really freaking spectacular. I couldn't have asked for better weather conditions. I couldn't have asked for a more immaculate sky um, for what we had that particular night. It really was kind of a once in a lifetime deal, and I'm calling it once in a lifetime because by the time the next full lunar eclipse happens in San Antonio, um, I'll probably be getting up there. How's that? We'll leave it at that. So, in addition to astrophotography, I also like taking lots of landscape pictures. The last pictures I took were pretty interesting because they were all related to the lightning storm and hailstorm that came through San Antonio. I'm not going to say a while back, but it was about, I would say 2-3 weeks back. We had ping pong ball sized hail, a couple of other things going on. It was intense for a little bit. I will say that it was fairly intense for our neck of the woods, for what we saw for lightning, for what we saw for um, actually a lot of the weather. I was here. Let me see if I can find a photo and I'll share it with y'all for the two people that are online right now. If I haven't said it already, happy 4th of July. Folks in San Antonio are making sure to celebrate. Nobody will be getting to sleep tonight. Lots of lovely smoke in front of the moon tonight. So let me ask for the people out there, can you see the moon just fine? Is it in your frame? Any problems watching the video? So from the way it looks, the way the penumbral works is that you'll see a little bit of darkening, and this will be at around 11:30. And it won't be a full chunk out of the moon, but a little bit of darkening of the moon in its upper, from the image that you're looking at, in the upper left-hand corner toward the top. So if you want to get an idea of what it's going to look like tonight, I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to share my desktop tonight so that you can see it a little bit. Click OK on that. Let me clear the moon capture and that, and then go to the actual site that I wanted to see. So here's the moon, and here is a video representation of what that's going to look like. Right now they have it set on live because it's happening now. But I wanted to give you an idea. If it lets me, well, what do you know? It won't do it. So here's Earth's penumbra, which is the outer reaches of Earth's shadow, and that's what it will be tonight. That's what it's called, penumbra. Earth's umbra, which is the best as I could describe it, the inner shadow of Earth. Weirdest girl. So some cops came. I don't know where you live, so however they found those fireworks, I have no idea. So why it's called a penumbral eclipse is that the darkening happens between the Earth's penumbra and the Earth's umbra. Penumbra. I think I said it right. Penumbra. And Earth's umbra. So unlike a traditional full moon eclipse where the Earth's umbra takes a chunk out of the moon, what you see tonight is only a little bit of darkening. It won't be a full look as to like we would normally associate with an eclipse of the moon. So for some folks, it's going to be anticlimactic. And that's fair to say. I still like watching it, so I'm going to hang in with it till at least 11:30 so that we see the totality of it. But let me go back and get back to the moon camera. Turn off my display here. There we go. We can see the smoldering of the smoke passing by the moon. It just cracked me up. I knew there was going to be a lot of smoke from the fireworks tonight. I just had no idea it was going to be that much. So the track the moon tonight, so I don't have to make continuous adjustments to what I'm looking at. I'm using a tracker called the Skywatcher Adventure, and for the most part, it's doing a good job. I do have to go back a little bit and do some very small adjustments so that the moon stays within your frame, but nothing close to what I had to deal with the full moon eclipse back in February of 2019. You know what, I'm really surprised there are enough cops to cover the physical amount of illegal fireworks that are going off tonight. Honestly. All I need is lightning in the sky for the rest of it, honestly. Seriously. It's just that loud here right now. Okay, maybe finally calming down in San Antonio a little bit. Famous last words. Then bongo poof. All right, let me see what you mean by that. Oh, the moon is going poof because, not because of the moon, because my neighbor's house. Hold on. You know, I'm going to leave this going. Even though it's artificial, it's actually pretty cool to look at. What's happening is the moon is going behind the chimney of my neighbor's house. So, in essence, you're getting a fake moon eclipse tonight. And I'm okay with that. Given all the 4th of July fireworks, I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. I bet I could fake this around the time of a full lunar eclipse, because what you're seeing right now is actually going to be more exciting than what you see at 11:30. Because eventually it will come around from where the chimney is. If you're just joining the live stream, thank you. Right now we're watching the moon get eclipsed by my neighbor's chimney. And this is actually more dramatic and exciting than anything else you'll see tonight. And it's almost gone. And I now know 100% that my neighbor's chimney is actually as wide as the full moon. I did not know that until tonight. I will take that fact into account for any future broadcast. We're going to switch back to the fireworks camera for just a little bit. And weirdest girl, yes, I did have an amazing Independence Day. In fact, I'm still having an amazing Independence Day. I'm sitting outside listening to fireworks and drinking beer and listening to minor artillery. So that's got to be a fabulous Independence Day in anybody's book. As you can see, my neighbor's chimney has still eclipsed the moon. So we're waiting for the chimney to be outside of the eclipse zone. As soon as that happens, the coverage of the eclipse will continue. For those who just joined, I'm going to take off the moon camera and show a display of the screen to show where we actually are. So in my limited capabilities, to show where we are. So Earth's penumbra has barely sliced into it. We're looking at the maximum point of the eclipse to occur at approximately 11:30 tonight. So you're saying the eclipse of the moon around my neighbor's chimney, will it affect your turkeys? Yeah, sure, why not? It's going to affect all kinds of turkeys tonight, including my video. So if you're still hanging out, thank you. I've already looked to see what I could do with my camera to see if I could actually get it to move around from where the chimney is located, and that just isn't happening tonight. So once again, I'm going to point out, if you go to timeanddate.com eclipse in USA San Antonio, they actually have a pretty good live view of what's happening with the moon. But at this point, even if I was to point the moon directly at it, because if I could look at it, I could actually look at it from around the other side of my house. And the Earth penumbra really hasn't eclipsed into it. If you were to look at it with the naked eye, you wouldn't even be able to tell anything right now. You know, when you do live feeds like this, you actually do a rehearsal. And I did a rehearsal last night with this equipment and everything else. And my neighbor's chimney was never in contention. It wasn't supposed to be there for tonight. Honest, I'm not kidding. It just goes to prove that you can't account for every last contingency. Yeah, so the moon has yet to clear my neighbor's house. So I'm going to try a couple of adjustments to see what I can do with my camera set up so that I can get it cleared of the chimney tonight. So give me a couple minutes. Okay, as you can see, I did clear the moon of my neighbor's chimney. And as I was saying earlier, you really can't see any shading for as far as the Earth's penumbra, if I'm saying that tonight. For the moon, it is still very much bright, very much now, if you were to try to view this eclipse with the naked eye tonight, it would be very hard to see the darkening in the upper left-hand corner. It is very subtle. You could look up into the sky tonight and not see a whole lot of anything. So if you have a clear view of the moon tonight, your best bet is either a telescope or a camera with a zoom lens or even a set of binoculars. That's going to be your best way of seeing the eclipse at maximum. Yeah, we're going to switch you to a different camera for a little bit while I make a couple of small adjustments to see if I can get the moon a little darker. And now that the fireworks have died down, what I'll do is actually switch secondary camera so that we can see the difference between the moon and a couple of different cameras. As I was saying earlier, it's really hard to discern the really minor eclipse of the moon at this point. Even though Earth's penumbra has actually entered into, and I'll bring up the other screen so we can see it. The outer edges of the moon, there really isn't a whole lot of darkening associated with it. A buddy of mine in one of the astrophotography forums said, this is really kind of a non-event tonight. And I went, you know what? Yeah, it really is a little bit, because the big show is the Earth's umbra when we have, a really full eclipse of the moon. But I still find it interesting that the Earth can cast such a big shadow and still have such a large effect on the moon for what we're doing. But at that same token, it is not as exciting as having a full eclipse of the moon. And doing something like this on like July 4th, I knew the audience was going to be pretty limited. So for any of you folks who tuned in tonight, thanks, and I'm glad you enjoy looking at the moon, and also maybe maybe astronomy and checking out comets and other stuff that go along with it. Yeah, you can definitely watch this video tomorrow. I'm not going to sweat it. It'll be there. A lot of this astronomy stuff happens really late at night. So if you're not a night owl, yeah, I completely understand. You're cool. Yeah, partial lunar eclipse and total lunar eclipse take hours. Solar eclipses take minutes. What I normally also do is actually take a lunar eclipse like this and do a time lapse. So I'll probably also have a time lapse out there tomorrow for folks to see. So I made the moon image a little bit darker with the hopes that we'll be able to see the Penumbral Lunar Eclipse a little bit better. We are about an hour from the maximum eclipse. Once again, this is Earth's penumbra. This is Earth's umbra. And the sounds you hear are the sounds of legal fireworks in Texas. Yeah, we'll give you dual moon photos tonight. One from one of the cameras and the other one from the other. Holy cow, you're watching all the way from Brazil. Thanks for watching. So somebody already asked me how COVID-19 is in San Antonio. How is the COVID-19 situation in Brazil right now? So thanks, folks, for tuning in tonight. We're watching the Penumbral Eclipse of the Moon. Just like you, I am an amateur astronomer, amateur astrophotographer. I don't pretend to know anything that I'm actually doing. I'm just sharing my love of astronomy and astrophotography with everybody else. We are this far into the eclipse, and by this far, I mean Earth's penumbra is here. Probably won't see a whole lot of darkening until about 11:30, and even if it would do, it'll only be slightly darkened. I am not going to get mad at you if you decide, hey, this is lame, I want to watch the fireworks instead. That's okay. I will have this video available tomorrow if you want to check it out. I love to use this one site called timeanddate.com because they'll actually list all the eclipse in your area, whether it's a solar or a lunar, and tell you what types there are, and they even give you a virtual representation of what they look like. In some cases, they actually look a lot better on their site than they do in real life. Here's what it looks like in San Antonio, Texas tonight. There's not a whole lot of darkening over in the left, and I don't know in particular why that's the case. If somebody has a lot more astronomy experience than I do, feel free to chime in on the chat and let some other folks know what's going on. I use some fairly basic equipment for my astrophotography. I have Canon camera, all of that. Only bummer about the whole thing is, as you realize, the resolution of a camera for video and streaming over the internet is not quite the same type of resolution that you would normally get if you would shoot with a digital SLR and be able to see really detailed stuff. The sounds you hear in the distance are the sounds of illegal fireworks in San Antonio, Texas. Fireworks are illegal in San Antonio inside of the city limits. Doesn't stop anybody, really. See them pretty much every year. This year, it's a lot more powerful than in prior years. And I think it's because of everybody holed up at home because of COVID-19. Lunar eclipses normally last for several hours. So it's one of those things where you can tune in and out and come back in and out, and it's not a big deal. For folks wondering, do I live in San Antonio? Yes, I do live in San Antonio, Texas, where the stars are night and are big and bright and all of that, deep in the heart of Texas. I've only been I've been interested in photography for maybe the last 5 years or so, max. There, I can probably show you what I did with star trails. So if you'll forgive my Facebook feed. I'll give you a quick look at that. Show it one more time for anybody who missed it. That was a stack of something along the lines of about 100 to 150 images taken over the course of one night in a city that was very, very heavily light polluted. There is an ever so slight darkening on the edge. Of the moon. It's almost imperceptible. If you're in an area where you can see the moon tonight, I encourage you to go outside and use your camera and use your telescopes to really get a feel for it. If you have any questions about astronomy or amateur astrophotography, feel free to ask. I will tell you I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. Wow, that was a close one. So, as I said, I am actually from San Antonio, Texas. Was born here, but I got here as quick as I could. And for those that are having a hard problem believing that I live in San Antonio, this is a photo of one of the San Antonio missions. It is called Mission San Francisco. San Antonians may know it by another name, which escapes me at the moment, but they may know it by another name. So if you're looking for that, the cool factor associated with the moon, and you're expecting to see an image for a partial eclipse that's like this, expect to be disappointed tonight. It is not going to be even remotely close to being that dark. You will see a slight darkening at best, almost along the lines of, if you look at the big crater on the moon in this particular photo, and this is from, kept setting February 2019. It was actually the full lunar eclipse in San Antonio was January of 2019. I should know it was a cold night. I kept having to go inside to get warmed up because it was really chilly that night by San Antonio standards. But this is what it looks like tonight. And as you can see, with the exception of the occasional flying bird across, you're not seeing a whole lot of darkening at this point. You should see some darkening up in the upper right-hand corner, and that is just not happening. A site I like to use, once again, I'm going to say, is timeanddate.com. Timeanddate.com has a listing of all eclipses that occur in your area, whether it be lunar or solar or partial or annular solar or anything close to that. Let me once again show you that site. And you can see where they have the Earth's penumbra. Most people associate eclipse with the darkening of the moon, and that's really caused by the Earth's umbra. You can look up those definitions on Google tonight. So, John, you got trees in the way of you tonight. Where are you located at that you can't see it tonight? You don't have to give an exact location, just a general. And let me get back to... No, that's a lightning shot I took a while back. Not part of tonight's conversation, though. If you just joined, you hit the right channel. This is the live stream of the Penumbral Lunar Eclipse from San Antonio, Texas. If you're looking for a ta-da of that live stream of something that's going to be really interesting tonight, I hate to disappoint you, but it's not even going to be anywhere that close to interesting. It really is just a slight darkening of the moon. At maximum extent, it'll be about 11:30. But feel free to hang out. If you got to buzz out because you're shooting off fireworks, no worries. Or if you want to watch fireworks, no worries. I will have this online tomorrow, so you can check it out then. I think I've caught more birds or bats flying across the moon tonight than I have in any time I've actually gone outside and take a picture of the moon. If you were thinking you were going to see a really big chunk of the moon fade away tonight, that is not the case. Unlike other lunar events where the Earth's umbra, actually crosses the moon's path and really looks like it's just eating away at the moon. This is a penumbral lunar eclipse, and that only slightly darkens a section of the moon, and only at the really at the max, which is right around 11:30. We're about 30 minutes away from that. So you won't see something like this tonight. Although it would be cool to see it, you will not see something like this. It will be closer to what you see around that big crater on the moon, and a little bit of darkening around it, and that's the best we're going to get tonight. Where I can, I'll show you a double photo of the moon, one from the two different cameras I have set up today. Cheese Stick FM, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks for saying it's a cool channel. I don't do a whole lot of work on it. My real job during the day doesn't allow for it. It's something I do as a hobby, so where I can share a live stream, I will do that. Here, I'm going to actually show you a different image of the moon that was from the January 2019 eclipse. Let me pull that up for you. Yeah, I mean, as far as eclipses, lunar eclipses I've seen in my lifetime, because it was so cold in San Antonio, we had really perfectly clear skies for it, and I'm beyond fortunate to have been able to capture a few photos and witness it with my own eyes. All right. Going to have to make a quick adjustment to our main camera, so I'm going to put you on the secondary camera for a little bit, and I'll put you on the main camera back in just a couple minutes. So if anybody has any questions out there, feel free to throw them into the live chat. I know what I know, and I definitely don't know what I know. So if you just joined the channel, the sounds you hear off in the distance are the lovely illegal fireworks in San Antonio. I'm not seeing a whole lot right now. It's not until about 11:30 that we'll have the maximum extent of the penumbral eclipse. If you're thinking this is a typical lunar eclipse, it is not. You will only see a slight darkening in the upper right-hand corner of the moon tonight. It's not, you know, holy cow, I can't believe this eclipse. No, it doesn't work like that. Normally people see a full, darkening or a chunk taken out of the moon with something that's called a total eclipse, and that requires the Earth's umbra to pass in front of the moon, and that will not happen tonight. Oh, that was a good one. What you're hearing in the background is all of the lovely illegal fireworks in San Antonio. I wish I could tell you they were legal. They're not, but it's not surprising. It happens every year. In addition to astronomy and astrophotography, I do a lot of landscape photography. More recently, a couple of I was either fortunate or unfortunate, it depends on how you look at it, to get some really cool lightning shots in San Antonio. The fortunate part is like, hey, this is pretty cool to look at. The unfortunate part was, wow, I almost died from it. I'll throw up an image in a second so you folks can see it. Yeah, let me fix this picture a little bit. We're losing a little bit of the moon in the process. That is not an eclipse. More illegal fireworks. So much fun. All right, I'm going to have to go and take a quick peek to see why we're losing part of the moon right now. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. And I found out what was going on. I'll do a quick fix on that, and we'll be just fine. There we go. And we're back to a full picture of the moon. So, as I was saying a little bit earlier, I had a little bit of a run-in with lightning this year, and it was unexpected. I was taking actually some pretty cool images of a lightning storm that went through San Antonio, and I even saw a wall cloud and a funnel cloud form over my neighborhood. But what I didn't expect was this. And let me make that picture a little bit bigger so you can see it. All right. I covered the moon for a little bit, but if you can see the picture, there is a very interesting little single stroke of lightning. And you can see it next to the chair that's against the deck rail. That little stroke of lightning was about 15 feet from me. I've learned my lesson. I will not be that close to lightning again. And if you're wondering really how close it was, I'll show one more photo. I realize it's not truly astrophotography, but this was the lightning bolt it came from. It was one of the fingers from that particular lightning bolt that reached toward my deck. And Alexis, yes, you're correct. There's no change yet. This is very different from a typical, what you would call a typical lunar eclipse. This is a penumbral eclipse. And let me show you that. And like I said, I use a site called timeout.com for this. If you're looking, this is the eclipse as it looks in San Antonio, and this is the Earth's penumbra, and that's why it's called a penumbral eclipse. So you'll only see a little bit of darkening on the moon associated with this eclipse, and we're talking about very, very subtle. Normally, with most eclipses, you would associate, like it's almost like the sky is eating it, and it gets very dark. That is due to Earth's umbra, and that is what you are not seeing tonight. It is, like as I said, is very different than what you would normally associate with a. Here. Let me do that a little bit better and explain a little bit better now that the screen is actually where it's supposed to be. So I apologize to you, Alexis, for that. This is the Earth's penumbra. This is the Earth's umbra. Normally we associate like the moon getting eaten out of the sky with the Earth's umbra, so it gets really, really dark. This is a very subtle change in the moon, and its maximum extent you won't see until 11:30. Now, the way the moon is tonight and how thick is the night diffraction in San Antonio, we may not see very much any change at all. If there is a change, it will be very subtle, very small to make out. Although you can see the eclipse with your own eyes, it may be very difficult for you to make it out with your own eyes. So this is how it appears right now. And I can see a little bit of darkening over on the left-hand side of the moon image. But we're talking about very, very subtle changes. It's almost like there's a line that starts from the top of the moon and then extends with a subtle curve all the way down to the, what's the word I'm looking for, the southwest corner. So this is a very subtle, gradual change. Most people will not notice it because it's that kind of subtle. I'm looking at the moon a couple of different ways tonight through a couple of different cameras. And let me see if I can bring up the other camera here. No, it's not currently pointed at it. And it's very, very subtle change. It's not like you would see in an image that you would normally associate with a typical eclipse. And let me bring up an image so you can reference it. Like, oh, too big of an image. Shrink that down. I had a monster image for the moon on that. Sorry about that. Yeah, almost there. As I said, I'm dealing with a budget here. Yeah, this is what you would normally associate with a lunar eclipse, where you see the moon literally being eaten. Well, not literally, but looks like it's being eaten by the sky. And that is primarily due to Earth's umbra, not the penumbra, which is what the eclipse is based on for tonight. And let me fix this image for y'all. The Real King Dinosaur. This is the only stream you can find of this? Wow, I would think that somebody from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory or something like that would actually have it going on tonight. But I guess they pretty much thought like a lot of the other folks that I spoke to in the astrophotography and astronomy Facebook groups and forums, that this is really a very subtle event, and if you don't really know what you're looking for, it's very hard to see where the subtle changes are. If you can rewind literally in the live feed to what I was showing earlier tonight and then compare it to the video that you're seeing now, you may see a slight difference, but it's not going to be pronounced. Yeah, excuse me while I make some small adjustments so that we can see things a little bit better tonight. We are about 10 minutes from the peak of the moon, and right after the peak, I'm going to bed, y'all. So it's getting late in Texas. It'll be 11:30 at the peak, and then I got to pack up all this stuff tonight. So looking at the moon right now, there is an ever so slight difference in the darkening of the moon, starting with the north, or the top portion of the moon, going down toward the southwest corner. I'm referencing timeanddate.com a lot tonight, and there's a reason for it, because, pardon me, wrong screen. Because they really do have an absolute accurate depiction of what it's truly looking like. because if you're looking at the moon image right now, you wouldn't necessarily see a whole lot. You would think that everything was pretty much the same, and it is. And we're talking about a very, very slight darkening of part of the moon's surface. Earth's penumbra, that's why it's called a penumbral eclipse, is not going to give nearly as dramatic as an effect as Earth's umbra, which is what most people associate with an eclipse. I realize I'm repeating myself a lot tonight, and the reason I'm doing that is we're having folks come in and out of the live stream, so I don't want to leave them in the dark. We're about 9 minutes from the maximum point of the Penumbral Lunar Eclipse, and about a couple of minutes after that, I'm going to end this stream. Let's get back to the actual image of the moon. As I said, you really have to look for it. It's not going to be very obvious to a casual observer. It is a very slight darkening of the moon on its left side. Really more of it's like starting from like the northern position, just draping down. If you were to compare an image of the moon earlier in this live feed to one that is occurring right now, you would only see a very slight difference in the brightness of the moon. If you're observing this partial lunar eclipse with your naked eye, it would be very, very hard to discern just a slight darkening. I can see it because I know what I'm looking for, and that's why I keep going back to the timeanddate.com site so you can know what you're looking for if you're trying to do it on your own. We're about 7 minutes from it, and honestly, it's not going to get much better than this. If you tuned in tonight, thank you. It's greatly appreciated. I'm going to try to do a live stream of all the upcoming eclipses in San Antonio, whether they are lunar, whether they are solar. In fact, San Antonio has a couple of instances coming up within the next few years. I don't intend to be moving anywhere anytime soon. Specifically for the solar eclipses, we're looking at dates in, let's see, go back to where it was for dates. Upcoming dates in San Antonio for eclipses. There will be another penumbral eclipse, lunar eclipse in North America on November 30th, 2020. But the date I'm really waiting for is a partial lunar eclipse, which should be viewable across most of North America, and it will be a lot more dramatic, where you see a part of the moon being almost eaten by the dark night sky. Something I'm really looking forward to in San Antonio on May 15th, there will be a May 15th, 2022. There will be a total lunar eclipse. So I'll get to do it this time, hopefully with better equipment. Other notable dates for North America, and let me get those up. Coming up soon will be the, I wouldn't even worry about the partial solar eclipse, because it'll be, they call it an annular solar eclipse. It would be visible across most of America. And let me go back a little bit. I think there we go. There's the date I was looking for. Annular solar eclipse available. It's going to be visible across Texas on. Well, let me get the dates. Can't even read my dates. October 14th, 2023, and a total solar eclipse in San Antonio will be visible on April 8th, 2024. As I was saying before, timeanddate.com, and I'm not a spokesman for them, I don't get any money, is a great resource for finding out where eclipses, whether they be lunar or solar, are going to occur in your neck of the woods. So I would check with them first. A lot of times the news will announce the eclipses way late, and then in particular with solar eclipses, it's hard to find the solar, you know, cardboard solar glasses so that you can view the sun safely. So timeanddate.com is a really nifty feature so that you can go and look and say, hey, the eclipse is going to occur at this date, and then you can have it plot that date in your Google Calendar, or plot that date in your calendar for your iPad or your iPhone. So it's really neat just to remind you of events like that. All right. We are about 3 minutes. And as you can see, the moon has darkened slightly. In this image, it would be from the top of the image in a semicircle draping down toward the southwest corner. This is a live image from San Antonio, Texas. In January 2019, people kept asking me, are you really in San Antonio, Texas? It's like, yeah. I'm in the place where the stars at night are big and bright, and we clap 4 times in the song, yes. About 3 minutes from maximum. Almost there, and I'm about ready to sign off for tonight. For those that tuned in, thank you very much. It was greatly appreciated. Thanks for sharing your love of eclipses, whether they be lunar, solar, and astronomy with me. I will have this video posted online, hopefully later tonight, and you can watch it on YouTube tomorrow, and then you can fast forward and go through back and forth and then see the slight, ever so slight differences between the moon at the start and at the end. And we are at maximum eclipse right now. So give you something in comparison. where you have the Earth's in the upper right-hand corner. I have a picture of what a eclipse involving the Earth's umbra would look like, where it would be much darker. And if you look at the bottom portion of the upper right-hand corner picture, you'll see a slight darkening above the Earth's umbra. That is the slight darkening that you're seeing in this image. And like I said, it's very, very subtle. So once again, thanks for tuning in. My name is Oscar. I live in San Antonio.